Good morning, good morning. It is Brass Monkeys here in the UK. It is absolutely freezing, hence why I am cupping, my hands are cupping the crucible of fire here. Well, hardly. It's absolutely freezing. But welcome to the video podcast, live show, radio thingy, whatever you want to call it. This is live. Whatever you want to say, come on the comments, come in the chat. Let us know. If you're watching it later, leave your comments. Let us know your thoughts. But today's show is all about, it's all about this mob. Now, in all week, I've been sort of scouring around the news feeds from all over the world. About news of motorcycles in general and the motorcycle industry and all the manufacturers. And as I've been saying recently, it's all fallen off the edge of a cliff, as it were, because it's the wind down to Christmas, and nobody's really coming out with a lot of information. There has been this week, and you might have seen my video as well, that the launch of Harley Davidson of the models will be on January the 18th of 2023. Now, I wanted to get this confirmed from the horse's mouth before I made the video, as it were. So I actually got this confirmed by Harley Davidson themselves. They sent me a very nice email saying, yes, the new model launch will be on January the 18th. This is a global launch. I was like, great. Can you give me any extra information? And then it was and then it was radio silence. It was like tumbleweed, as if to say, probably, maybe it can't be given too much information away. So then I was, thinking, what is most likely to happen? And the last few weeks, I've been trying to come out with the stories and piecing things together. What's likely to come out in the reveal? What's likely, what are the likely to be the new bikes? What are likely, and this is all based on information that I've been receiving as well. So I'm just going to dig into this and let us know your thoughts. Let us know your comments as well. But what do you think this live show, this live launch reveal from Harley Davidson will be? Will it be anything different that we've seen in the last 2 or 3 years? Now, it's their 120th anniversary year. They're making a big deal about this. You can bet your bottom pound, dollar, shekel, they're going to make a big deal about this. And I suppose in many ways it's right that they do, right? Because it's something to be proud of. But is it something that you really want to watch? Or you want to watch a big show about all, old movie footage of them riding back in the day and all that sort of stuff, and going through the whole history thing again, and getting on some celebrities to talk about their affinity with motorcycles or Harley Davidsons, or all the little cameo stories from somebody. I love Harley Davidson, all that sort of stuff. It's great, don't get me wrong, but the thing is, we've seen it all before. So are they going to just carry on with that thing? Now, personally, I don't care for all that sort of stuff. I just think it's overdone. It's been done too much, and it's, they need to come up with something new. And this is what I always say about these kinds of companies, manufacturers. They need to be looking at tomorrow. They need to be not necessarily on what they produce, but how they deliver it, how they deliver the message. And I think, Harley Davidson, for me, they've become way too repetitive in that. So I'm hopeful. I'm always hopeful that they do something, that really surprises people. And look, it is their 120th anniversary year. So yeah, sure, make a deal of it. Say, look, this is our 120th year, but not talk about the history, because that's gone. Talk about, this is 120th year. We've been doing this. We've done all sorts of riding. And have just a very short section on your history, let's say, but say, as it's 120th year, now these are our bikes. This is what we wanted to do. This is what we wanted to come out with, and this is a nod to 1973, and this is a nod to 1952, and this is, that kind of thing. and just start to say, look, this is a bike. This is a bike. We're a company of innovators. We started 120 years ago, and now we're going to shock the world with a new style of bike. So that's what I would want them to see. Now, what bike they come out with, or what series of bikes they come out with, I mean, that's obviously, we don't know until the launch date what it's actually going to be. Yes, there's the talk of the new Pan America or with the 975. There's been lots of talk about other models as well. There's been lots of talk, and you've seen in my videos as well. I've been told quite a lot about which models are going to be deleted or cancelled or discontinued is probably the best way of saying that. Which models are going to be discontinued, which models are going to have an engine change. Does this mean that it's going to be a new model code or a brand new model designation because it's got an engine change, that kind of thing? So especially in the Softails, there's a lot of talk, a lot of chatter behind the scenes. There's going to be quite a few changes. There's also a lot of chatter within the touring lineup, the Grand American touring lineup. There's going to be engine changes there, suspension, software upgrades or electronic upgrades are there as well. So I've tried to bring that to you this week or the last couple of weeks in terms of the videos, very short videos that I've been putting together for you, and just kind of give you the information that I've been receiving. Now, there's nothing to say that information that's been coming my way is accurate. Because I always make pains to say this, that you're never really going to know until the launch date, which we know now is the 18th. And I've had that confirmed from Harley Davidson themselves. This is not a rumor. They've actually confirmed it. Although strangely enough, they haven't publicized it. Now, I would have thought right now, Harley Davidson should start ramping this up a little bit. They should start putting out their own little feelers, and maybe they should come out with a little video of that, like they did with the Nightster, or the previous bikes, kind of, coming out with videos or imagery of stuff that, we're trying to work out. What is it? What's the bike? What are the lines? What they look at? And, that for me, this is what would keep the attention, the interest in Harley Davidson. It will grab the attention. It let the lips will start wagging, as it were. Or flapping lips, flapping lips. So that's what they need to do, but they haven't done it. So I don't know if this is because it's a rundown to Christmas and everybody's thinking about getting a turkey and food and presents, or just trying to survive, with the cold and the expenses of everything. Whether they're not doing it because of that, or whether they're just going to say, right, in brand new year, January, like the 1st or the 2nd, that's when we're going to start ramping up our media, and possibly that's the way they're going to do it. I don't know. So I don't actually have any insight into that. I wish they would do it a lot sooner, but who knows? So what are they going to do on their reveal show? What are we going to find out? Well, we're going to find out a lot about the history of Harley Davidson, of course. I wish they wouldn't. I wish they would do something different. But we're going to find out a lot about that. We're going to find a lot about, the stories of some riders in God knows wherever. I wouldn't be surprised if they try and have a bit of more of a global appeal, as opposed to being, less American centric and more stories from around the world. I wouldn't be surprised. But I think if rumors are to be believed, and this is the rumors, and I'm not picking this up from Harley Davidson at all. Nobody from within Harley Davidson has been saying this. The information that I've been getting is that, and I made a video about it as well, is that actually Harley Davidson, they are going ahead in 2023. And I suppose this is where I'm careful with my words. It's whether it will actually appear on the live launch, I don't know. But the indication is that they're definitely coming out with small CC bikes for 2023. Now, what I've been told, what I've read, and also what I've been told as well, told, as in written told, an email I got, was actually that we know that Harley Davidson Hero motor corp from India, they've joined forces, and they've actually joined forces so much so now that they're going to start bringing out bikes at the end of 2023. But the other aspect is that the Harley Davidson Chinese Zhangji, however you pronounce them, QJ Motor, they've been working on a bike for quite a few years as well. And apparently that bike, which has now grown into a 500cc bike, that bike is going to be released in early January, or not, sorry, in the first quarter. It could be late January, early February. But which market? Where is it going to be sold? So in India, quite a few outlets have been reporting that 500cc, the Chinese Harley Davidson, is going to be made available from February onwards. Which is, whether it gets to India or whether it's just in China or whether it's just in the Far East, we just don't know. Will it make it to Europe? Will it make it to the United States? Who knows? I mean, this is the question. So will Harley Davidson now bring this information out to you guys? And whoops, excuse me, I'm dribbling all over the place here. Will they release that information to you on the launch, on the launch reveal, product reveal on January the 18th? It's a good bet that they just might do that. The CEO might just get up there, and he loves to get in front of the camera, doesn't he? Let's put it that way. I think he loves to tell us what he's doing. He's sticking hard and fast with the electric EV bikes. They've got the Livewire subsidiary company now. It's floated it on the stock exchange. That hasn't quite worked out. Now Harley Davidson are having to fund Livewire as the company. So if you haven't followed that story, you might as well go back and watch a couple of my videos on that. But they've released the Livewire 1, as in basically the Livewire motorcycle. They've released the Livewire Del Mar, the S2 Del Mar. But again, according to the Indian outlets out there, they're expecting another electric motorcycle from Harley Davidson to arrive in early January, also in January as well. So perhaps this is what they're doing. They're actually saying, right, in the launch, we're going to reveal that on our 120th anniversary year, not only are we talking about our history, but we're going to say this, we're making a statement. The statement is that we are the company of the future. We are going to be producing bikes for different markets according to what their preferences are. We've got a 500cc, we've got 350s, we've got, 750s, whatever. All different sorts of bikes. In China and India, they've actually got motorcycles now that are essentially smaller versions of the Sportsters. We know that there's Chinese motorcycle companies that have got the patent rights, or not the patent rights, the rights to build Evo engines. We've also know that the Chinese have worked alongside Harley Davidson to produce their own Sportster type engine that is actually Euro 5 compliant as well. So I've got a feeling that there's much, much more of a relationship from Harley Davidson and Chinese and Indian manufacturers than we ever thought. And maybe this is where it's all going to come out. It's all going to come out in the January launch reveal. Or it could be just put on the back burner and they just release that as a separate entity. Now, as I say, Jochen Zeitz, or Joachim Zeitz, however you pronounce his name, CEO of Harley Davidson, the last few months he has gone on quite a few financial press, financial TV programs, that kind of thing, the news outlets, talking about Livewire, talking about electric bikes, electric future, talking about the technology from the electric market and how that's going to be transferred into Harley Davidson. This is where a lot of this news is now coming from, that the Harley Davidsons, the existing Harley Davidsons with the M8 engines, that's the Softails and the Taurus, they're going to be getting electronic upgrades, whatever. It's kind of derived from the Livewire program. Now, whether we see that, whether we know that, whether it's a very small adjustment, whether it's a very small thing that we're not even told about, we just don't know. But apparently that's what's coming, and that isn't really news for me, because that kind of makes logical sense. In fact, that's what the Livewire program was always really about. It was about, R&D, electrically R&D, or electronic computer-based R&D, for all the bikes, not just for EV bikes as well. So they've got new bikes coming out, and maybe that's the reveal as well. The reveal is that, but we can't discount, their I suppose their flagship engine of the future, and the flagship engine has got to be the Revolution Max engine, right? Or as we know now. So will that actually go into new bikes? And I'm not just talking about the Pan America with the 975. We're talking about, is there going to be a brand new motorcycle with the Revolution Max engine? Now, will it be like a Softail, like a cruiser type bike? Will it be a tourer? Will it be a sports bike of sorts? Again, quite a few stories have been emerging in the last sort of month or so, how Harley Davidson back in the day, about 20 or 30 years ago, had produced a prototype of a sports bike, and how the discussions were wanting to go further than just the prototype, or the design, I should say. I'm not even sure, because there were various prototypes, sports bike prototypes or sports bike designs. There was particularly one that they really wanted to go, and I think it was in the same era of Buell as well, that they wanted to just really push that angle and really start producing bikes that can get onto the track and compete with World Superbikes and MotoGP and that kind of thing. And whether now they're thinking, do you know what, we could maybe not get into that, but start producing bikes that has a much broader appeal, and we're not just the cruiser market, we're not just the tourer market, which is, let's face it, that's what we all know Harley Davidson's for. But if they, if there is something to reveal here, that maybe the reveal is going to be something really revealing, in that you're going to surprise everybody. You're going to surprise everybody with what you want to do. Now, this could be absolute nonsense, of course. This could be something that either you don't want yourself, as in you the audience there, you don't want it, or the listeners, however you're digesting all of this, I'm saying. You don't want it, you don't care about it. All you want is your Softails and your Taurus. That's all you want. You want electric bikes. You don't want the Revolution Max engine. You don't want liquid cooled. You just want air cooled. That's all you want, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Look, I've got one of those bikes myself. I love it. There's no problem. But I've always said this. That's okay for now. That's great for now. And that's been great for the last few years. But is it the way forward? Is it the way forward of the company, and also buying habits, and purse strings? You're talking 20, 30, 40 plus thousand pounds, dollars, shekels for a motorcycle. People can't afford that. People just can't afford that. So if they were smart, Harley Davidson, in my opinion, if they were smart, they would do a Honda. They would do a Yamaha or whatever. They would produce high-end bikes that that very few people can afford, or that they would want to afford, but they also produce much cheaper bikes as well. And the only way Harley Davidson were ever going to produce cheaper bikes was to produce them abroad, to produce them in another country with a much lower cost base. So that's why you've got India and China. So it's no surprise that they've been working with these companies for 2 or 3 years now, trying to get these bikes on the market. again, will this be the reveal? The things that I'm hearing from other parts of the world is that actually, yes, this is what they're going to reveal. It's going to be a whole host of plans for 2023, but there's going to be little that you and I can say, oh, this is a brand new bike. Now, when I say that brand new bike, we're going to have lots of anniversary models. This is what's been coming in this week to say, yeah, actually, there's not going to be brand new motorcycles, but there's going to be anniversary editions. Lots of that. Lots of different paint schemes for the anniversary models. But yeah, possibly another one or two Revolution Max engine bikes or variants of a bike or brand new model. Looking at the announcement of tying up with India and also with China, possibly more likely to tie up with the India market and what their plans for end of 2023. They may even delay that announcement to 2024. Who knows? But also they're going to talk about the enhancements to their Tourer, to their Softail lineup. We've got to talk about the engine changes as well. Much talk about the Harley Davidson don't tend to tell you what they're taking away from you. They kind of tell you what they're bringing to you. And I suppose that's all manufacturers. They do the same. They don't really say, hey, look, we're taking this away. But but what they do say, look, we're giving you this. We're giving you this. This is what you've got. This is what you're gonna, you can feast on for the next few hours. So I've got a little heater down here, by the way, so I'm just heating up my hands. So if you see my hand disappearing down there, you know what's going on. Anyway, so the story has been that they're taking away the 107 engine. Again, I've had this confirmed, but I've also had this denied as well from various quarters. So it's a difficult one. Most of the stories that I've brought out of the last sort of couple of weeks, and I kind of said this a few weeks ago, I said it's very hard to differentiate the rumor from fact from fiction. It's very difficult, and I always make pains to say this, and I have to repeat myself just in case people are only watching a couple of minutes of the video or the live stream. You're never going to know what is what until Harley Davidson say it themselves, until they reveal this themselves. You're never going to know, because until that time, it's all rumor and speculation. And even if we get hard facts, that doesn't mean it's the whole story. Let's say I brought out the video about the discontinued bikes. It may be that there's more to that story about the new colors for 2023. Yes, but there may be more to it than that. There might be more color options, or there might be a different emphasis on different bikes. So I can bring you the information that I have to hand, but it's always on the condition that there might be updates to that information. And so I don't tend to just go by rumors. I try to have two or three what's the word, corroborating evidence or suggestions before I launch something like this. Now with the reveal, I'm not getting information as to what it's going to be. This is more like a best guess, but I'm just wondering, with all the extra other information that we talked about, whether they're actually going to reveal that. So the strong rumor about the engines was that they're discontinuing the 107 engine, but I've also had it told to say no, the 107 engine is staying. And that made lots of people believe, well, actually, the Softail standard with the 107 engine is definitely going. But then you think, well, actually, why would it go? It's actually not a bad bike to start off in the Softails with the M8 engine. And you think, well, actually, if you've taken away the 107, but then you put a 114, let's say, in the Softail standard, what's the point? What's the point of having that bike when you got the Street Bob there as well? It doesn't, you can, on that level, it doesn't make sense. You start picking holes in what is right and what is wrong. So if the 107 does go, that means a lot of the bikes, and again, I always say it depends where you are in the world, which bikes are being sold to you anyway. Because if the 107 is going, that means the Sport Glide is going around the world, right? I've been told this. I've been told now that the Sport Glide and the Breakout are definitely going from around the world. They're not going to be sold anymore. But who knows? Who knows? This is the weird thing. But if the 107 is going, then that's going to knock out a lot of bikes. But it doesn't mean that all of a sudden that they say, right, okay, all of a sudden we're going to say, no, we're going to put a 114 engine in all these bikes instead. So maybe the Sport Glide will come back as in a global bike with a 114, and probably a lot of people think, well, it's about bloody time. It's about bloody time that bike got a 114 engine. The other rumor is that the Taurus are getting a step up in the engines. They're getting a 117 engine, or certainly as an option. You get a 114 as a standard, and you get a 117 as a special option, as it were. The CVOs got 117 engine. Many people are saying that the CVOs, they have to go to a 131 engine. But I've heard about 10 different sizes in between those two, from a 117 to a 131, 121, 124, 123, 125, 27. It just goes on and on and on. So look, can we expect changes in the CVO bikes? Yeah, it kind of stands to reason. Definitely new colors. Yeah, new accessories, new level of kit. How many bikes will they have as a CVO? Are they just going to have as a road glide, as a street glide? Are they going to have the tri glide sort of CVO? Are they just going to do away with that and just have the freewheeler and the tri glide or the ultra or whatever? So there's lots of rumors that there's internal changes, internal tweaks, trimming the fat, especially in the touring market. They're talking about the Road King standard or classic, the Electroglide standard, if you're in the United States, that's going as well. But it doesn't mean that the Electroglide standard doesn't get a 114 engine, then it stays. And I think the Electroglide standard is actually a very decent bike, because if you like the look of a Tourer, if you like the look of a fairing, but you don't really care for the infotainment, system and all that sort of stuff, but you want the clocks up above, let's say, in the Street Glide, I think that's a good shout. So if you put a 114 engine in there, if you black out the engines, get rid of the chrome, or have a chrome option or a black option, just as in the specials, then I think you got a decent bike there, and it would appeal to a lot of people who just don't want to have all the infotainment system or all that sort of stuff. And again, this is where we're talking about the Road King as well. They're talking about getting rid of the Road King. Well, I've got a video coming out about this as well. But there could be options where they just upgrade the engine, or they just make it the Road King Classic. They just make that Road King Classic as just an option with the Road King. So you just got one bike or one model designation, but you just have it in chrome, or you have it in blacked out, you have it in a 114, you have it in a 117, you have it, it could be like that. And in many ways, that's when you say about the model lineup for 2023, if you just trimmed it all down, so you got one bike Street Glide, one bike Road Glide, one a Road King, 3 bikes, that's it, that's what you got. Now you can either have that in a special, you can have it as an ST, you can have it as a 114, 117, whatever. You can have it in all different layers. So you pick and choose. You say, I love that, I love that, I love that, I love that, I love that. Thanks very much, bosh. And maybe you order them like that, or they produce them and they're already in the marketplace. And that's people. Maybe that's what I would say. That's a lot more logical to have it like that. You buy a bike and you tailor it at the point of purchase to what you want, and you have accessories, you have a different seat, whatever. I mean, personally, I've never really cared for the STs. I've never cared for the STs, and I just don't think they're that great. They've got the enhanced suspension package. There's talk about the suspension being changed on the Taurus anyway, and enhance and bring it into lines with the ST as well. Because if the thing is about the ST, it is about style and it is about performance, but it doesn't mean that the rest of the Taurus can't have that performance as well. And especially when you're talking about the same kind of money or similar kind of money. So you think, well, why not? Why not have that? So it's certainly in terms of engine size, a 117, and it's certainly as a performance, as a suspension upgrade or a suspension option, you go that way as well. So this is lots of stories have been coming out, certainly in the last week, and it's been intensifying in that regard as to what could change, what new models are coming, if any. What big announcements are they going to make in terms of a global presence from Harley Davidson, in terms of the Chinese or in terms of the India with these lower CC bikes? Where are they going to be sold? Where are they going to go? What about the electric bikes? Any new bikes coming out? All that sort of stuff. But also the bikes that they've got now. Are there going to be any changes there? They're going to take in bikes away, taking engines away, give us more options with the engines. And you think, well, if the 107, if you've got a 114 engine and you got a 117 engine, but also the next step now is, well, you've already got 131, but you've also got the possible, let's say a 121 or 124, whatever size for the CVOs. Well, you've already got the next step there. So you've got too many engine sizes already in the mix. So it kind of makes sense you take away the 107. But maybe you just don't want to leave that, those bikes. And like, let's say the Road King Classic. There's a huge fan base out there, huge fan, because not all people want blacked out bikes. Not everybody wants special bikes or that. They just want a nice bike that rides true, great for touring, great for, a nice windscreen on the front, and it just looks good. And people maybe even like that retro style or like that old style. Why not? So if you're taking that away, aren't you shooting yourself in the foot for those people who really want that kind of bike? And maybe that's it. Maybe that's what they're doing. They're taking away the 107 engine, but they're gonna, do the old switcheroo on everybody and just keep those bikes, but with a 114, or just merge them into an options package, as it were, for each individual bike. You just got 3 bikes. You got the King, the Road King, Street Glide, Road Glide. That's it. You got 3 bikes, and with those 3 bikes, you got all the plethora of options. And I've got to say, for me, that makes a whole lot of sense. So you don't get rid of any bikes, but you don't have those bikes on your lineup either. The names go away. You've just got Street Glide, Road Glide, Road King. That's it. And you can have it in all these different options. Now, for some people, they'll be saying, no, you can't do that. We need the classic name. We need the Electro Glide standard name. We need all this sort of name. I get it. That people like names, and I get it. But in terms of efficiency in production, I think that's a much better way of doing it. A much better way. Now, that leaves so much room for the Revolution Max motorcycles or models or prototypes to expand. So you can bring out a sports bike line or a roadster line or a street sport bike, let's say. It doesn't have to have a fairing. It can have, just go naked, let's say. But you can have a Tourer, a new type of Grand American Tourer, but with a liquid cooled engine. Other manufacturers have done it, so why not do it? Why not have that? Another cruiser, but this time, hey, with Revolution Max engine. What about a bike that is like the old Sportster, as you look forward into 2023, when the Sportsters are being scrapped all over the place. You look back on those models from previous years and say, well, actually have that style, but just put a Revolution Max engine in it. you just play on those, because many people don't like the Sports RS, and many people don't like the Nightster in terms of sales and in terms of riding, and maybe it only appeals to a certain size rider or certain type of rider. And I suppose you could say the same for anybody, right? Anybody like that. But look, I mean, this is what I've basically heard this last couple of weeks, and I've tried to put out videos there to reflect that as well. And I've been experimenting with different types of videos, different sort of messaging, different types of message delivery or information delivery as well. So yeah, there's lots of different things there, lots of things to take from these new videos recently. But it's a weird time. It's a weird time because all the other manufacturers have gone really quiet. There's nothing there. I mean, I could just look at my news feeds here, and it's all closing down. I mean, there's not a lot. There's not a lot. Most of the manufacturers have already told us what they're doing for next year, but the Harley Davidson, yeah, we don't know. We don't know that, and I think the time is right. The time is right. Let us know. Let us know your thoughts. But the time is right now. This is the 10th of December. Is it the 10th? Yeah, the 10th of December, Saturday morning here in the UK. I'm freezing my nuts off in the studio. It's -3. Well, it's -2 now. It was minus God knows whatever it was overnight, but it was a hefty price. It's been -7, -10 the last couple of days, so it's been really cold, so but I'm sat here just trying to bring you the latest, and all I'm hearing little bits and pieces, but actually there isn't a lot to go on. There isn't a lot to go on, and yeah, quite rightly, Harley Davidson, I suppose you could say, are being very tight-lipped about it. But I think it's time now, the 10th of December, for them to start drip feeding some information, strip feeding some news, some video, 10-second video clip of something, and see how people react. Because Harley Davidson, just like any other manufacturer, Harley Davidson, just like any other manufacturer, are going to struggle for 2023 in sales of big ticket item machines, because of the global position, the economic position. People are going to be struggling now. You've got to imagine that most people out there who have been fueling the motorcycle market, car market, whatever, the last few years, have been buying all these bikes on finance deals, on whatever, leasing deals, finance deals, whatever it is. Well, the cost of those have just gone up and up and up, hasn't it? And it will go up and up and up. So it's thinking, well, okay, are you going to buy a bike outright, or are you going to buy a bike with a finance deal? Can you afford it? So you're going to be looking for better deals right now. And if you've got money in your pocket right now, the best deal, if you want a bike, is right now, or in early January, because you're going to go to the dealerships. They're full of bikes. They're full of bikes, of 2022 bikes. If you go in January, you'll be buying a 2022 bike effectively. The ones that are just rolled over from that haven't been sold, or that you might get brand new bikes, 2023 model year bikes, let's say, that are basically exactly the same as a 2022. There's no difference. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of manufacturers out there who are going to try and sell you 2022 model year bikes as 2023 bikes. And I've had this before. I've had kind of online arguments with people saying, yeah, I've just bought a 2023 bike. No, you haven't. You just bought a 2022 bike. It's just, and they say, no, it says 2023. I say, yeah, it says it, but when was it actually made? I don't know. Aha. You don't know because you haven't looked into it. That bike is only made in 2022. It's not made in 2023. I know it's not made in 2023 because it hasn't got that, hasn't got that, hasn't got that, and hasn't got that. So when you look back on when a bike was actually made, and usually the bikes that are made for the next year, as in the next model year, are usually made after September, October. That's when they're usually made, and the stamp of origin, the manufacturer's origin is then. That's when they're made, and then they start stockpiling them, and then they deliver them. So what's happening in the dealerships now is that they're getting all the 2022 bikes, the unsold stock, and this could be anywhere. Here in UK, around Europe, I don't know, wherever, Australia, South Africa, you could wherever, United States, Canada, those dealerships are quite full of bikes, right? Or well, I would imagine. I don't know every dealership, of course. I don't, I don't go around every. How much stock have you got? No, I'm having a guess here because of the ones that I've seen. There's plenty of stock, right? I see it from other news reports and other YouTubers out there. So yeah, there's loads of stock here, load blog pieces. Yeah, there's loads of stock there. But there are 2022 bucks. So if you want a deal right now and you've got cash in your pocket and you don't care about 2023 bikes, you don't care about all you care about is the bike that's in front of you. You know, the bike that's in front of you, whether it's a used bike or a brand new unregistered bike. And you'll say, right, that's a Street Glide special. Right, Street Glide special. It's got a 114 engine. I like the look of it. It's all black. It's cherry red, or it's orange, or it's black. I got black, black, black. Love that bike. What's the deal? Oh, that'll be 30,000. And you go, no, I'll tell you what, I've got 25 in my pocket. I'll give you 25. Take it or leave it. And they may just sell you that bike. They may even sell you a lot cheaper than that, because there have been quite a few rumors of dealerships at this time of year selling, especially this is United States here. I'm not talking about here in the UK. They're selling below the MSRP because they just want to get rid of stock. They just want to get rid of because they're trying to, keep cash flow coming in. And even if they're selling at a loss or below that, they're basically saying, well, we're not making any money, but we're getting rid of stock. We're turning it over. We're still fueling the system. We're still, lubing the cobs, as it were. So that, people are still buying. It's notable that people are still buying. So that feed into 2023 when people still want to have bikes, and they might undersell on one, but then they might make, a $500, pounds, whatever, 1,000 on the next model and on the next model. Because they know with the back end sales in accessories, in servicing, in all that sort of stuff, that, they don't have to make a profit on a bike. They make a profit on the accessories and everything like that because they know they're going to get a piece of that, at least for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years. Certainly when people are still going to go to the dealership for warranty issues as well. Whether the law says that you don't have to go there and that they have to honor warranty claims and all that sort of stuff, is kind of irrelevant. People will still go to your dealership, for the good dealerships, as I say, for that kind of thing, won't they? So if you want a deal right now, but if you don't want to wait till next year, people say, you know what, I want to see. I did exactly the same thing a couple of weeks ago. I went into my local dealership. I was looking at Taurus. I was looking at I just wanted to see what they had. I really want to see if they've got a Road King. A Road King, Street Glide, and a Road Glide for me to try. They didn't have any, as you know. I've already tried the Street Glide, but I really want to see what the Road Glide is like to ride, and also the Road King is like to ride. Okay, and because I think, okay, maybe next year, the year after, I might go that way. I just don't know, right? But they got loads of bikes. But they got there, and but I said to them, I think, you know what? I'm in no rush because I really want to see what 2023 bikes are available. But if, let's just say, I wanted a Road King or I wanted a Street Glide, there were deals to be done there. There were deals to be done because nobody's going into a dealership right now buying bikes. So if you've got the money in your pocket and you've got a ton, you say, right, that's a bike. Bike, it's only got 1,000 miles on it. It's a used bike, right? But it's got all this extras. It's had a stage 1, it's had a stage 2, it's got a torque cam in it, it's got heated grips, it's got all these extras that somebody else has spent on that bike, but the value has been lost. The value has been lost in that bike. But all of a sudden you can see it and you think, whoa, do you know what? That's a really good deal there. Maybe if I undersell a little bit, they want 25 and I'll go in at 20. See what they say. You don't know until you ask. You don't know. No, you might say definitely not. They might laugh you out of the place, but at the same time, there's a deal to be done, right? Yeah. If you're not concerned about 2023 bikes. So that's it. So if you want to, this is where I think Harley Davidson and not just them, all other manufacturers have to be very careful. If all you're selling is expensive models, expensive bikes, because people have been telling me, and they keep on saying on YouTube channels and blogs and everything, say, hey, Harley Davidson, they don't care about entry level bikes, because all they're doing is going to get you to buy used bikes. Well, the argument with that argument breaks down, because Harley Davidson as a company don't get the money from used bikes unless you're buying it directly from the company themselves. Okay, and in different markets, different places around the world, there are different options to buy from the company, but most of the time you're just buying it from dealerships or independent dealerships. They don't care. That money doesn't get sent back to the company, and if it does, if there is a little kickback, I tell you what, it's an insignificant little bit. No, they want to sell you brand new bikes. They don't care about used bikes. The used bikes are the devil for manufacturers. They want used bikes. They want you to buy new bikes. That's what they want. And if you are going to buy a used Harley Davidson, let's just say in this case, they want you to buy it from a dealership, because they want you to go back to the dealership to buy parts and accessories that the company are making and they're selling. So that's where they want you to buy the bike. They don't mind if you buy a used bike, because they're going to get you on the parts and accessories, that they're not the servicing, because that's all dealership, but the company get the parts and accessories and everything like that, and it keeps you in the name as well. So that's where it is. That's why some people say, they don't care about it. But of course they care about it. Of course they want you to buy brand new bikes. That's as simple as that. They want to buy a brand new bike. And if they're not producing bikes that people can afford to buy, then guess what? They're going to be in trouble, aren't they? So it comes back to my original point. The January reveal will be that they've gone. Anyway, so listen, I've got to go. Right. Got to go. So anyway, listen, it's one of those days. It's one of those times. And just stand by 1 second. 1 second. Here we go. Hold on. I do apologize for that. Sorry, I've had a sudden emergency to deal with, but there we go. Right, so I'm back anyway. So, which bikes are which bikes are coming out? Who knows? But if they're only relying on the big ticket items, then they could struggle this year. And I know, it's been said before, and I've mentioned it before, but I think we're in a very particular time in space at the moment, and it's no surprise that other manufacturers who do sell all the smaller bikes, right? They're thriving. They are thriving. Honda, for example, if you didn't know this, Honda have just had the best fourth quarter in many a year, and all they're selling is small bikes. Brand new. These are brand new bikes, small bikes. They're being selling them all over the world. Okay, because people are looking for motorcycling. They're looking for two-wheeled mobility, and they're looking for cheap deals, and that's it. And if you've got and also you got kids, you want the kids to get into biking. Guess what? They're using that. So this is where Harley Davidson, yes, they've got to look forward. And if the rumors are that in this January reveal that they will be bringing out the new bikes, the news of the new bikes, the small displacement engines, then this is the time to do it. And this is the time to show the world that, hey, look, we are just like everybody else. We're going to make a range of bikes for everybody. And there are connections that are already there with the Chinese motorcycle manufacturers, with the Indian motorcycle manufacturers. They're already there. There are old Harley Davidson designs that have been reproduced by Chinese motorcycle manufacturers, just like Norton, just like Triumph, just like anything. They've taken those designs and they're making their own. So Harley Davidson got a piece of that as well. And now they've been working with those manufacturers out there who can produce cheap, inexpensive bikes, and they say, right, we're definitely gonna sell those, or we're definitely gonna produce those. And we can't do it in the United States because the cost is just gonna be too great, and we're not even sure if people really want to buy those bikes in the United States. But I tell you what, they will buy them in China, or they will buy them in, Vietnam, or they will buy them in India, or any places like that, Africa. They're going to buy them there because they'll be a lot cheaper, but it will bring the Harley Davidson name to that. So you say, yeah, I got a Harley Davidson. Now, just like they failed with the 700 and the street 700 and sort of 750 and the 500, the street Cubs, because they're just overpriced and they weren't that great looking. But all of a sudden, if you put in a much cheaper bike without the Harley Davidson tax on it, then all of a sudden you've got a bike that is competitive in a market where people they don't have a lot of disposable income. It's not like the West, where people have been having great times for lots of different reasons. People don't have that kind of money in all these other countries, so you've got to produce a bike that is competitive with all the other motorcycle manufacturers, but maybe you can charge a little bit more to sell it as a premium bike, because people want a Harley Davidson, let's say, or you make it that people want a Harley Davidson. So that's the new news. That's the big reveal. That's what they're going to talk about. This is the anniversary year. This is us as a company. We're going to be celebrating our history, but we're celebrating our history in a way to say we are the company of the next 120 years. We are the company that have got this bike, these engines, this type of tourer, this type of cruiser, this type of sports bike, this type of small CC bike as well. This is where we are all over the world. We're in India, we're in China, we're in the Far East, we're all over Europe with these we're all over Africa. This could be the reveal that people like myself have been waiting for. That Harley Davidson, they don't ignore their roots. They don't say to you, we're going to stop doing all the M8 engines, we're going to stop doing this, but we're going to definitely give you something extra, give you something new. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts on that subject. But are you looking forward to the reveal? Are you looking forward to see what they have to say? Or are you just kind of waiting? And it gets to a point where you think, well, I'll just wait. I don't care. I just wait. And I am kind of like that myself. I just kind of think, yeah, okay, it is what it is. Anyway, listen, thanks for watching. It is really cold this morning. I've got a few little chores to do, so I'm going to go and do that now. But have a great weekend, great Saturday. And so if there's any more news that I get over the wires in the next few days, I'll bring it out in a video or two, and hopefully I'll come back with another live show shortly as well. But if you want to drop us a line via the website, if you want me to talk about different topics, then please do, and I'll do that. Possibly the next live show, I'll go off on a tangent and talk about something else as well. But anyway, listen, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again on another video coming very soon. Ta-da.